What's up,
I'm not up
everyone?
to
It's
that just yet.
Stefano here, and I am here to show you my final form, more or less, on my Magic Find character. I'm sure I'll get some more upgrades as I go on, but I wanted to show you guys how to import my character, some tricks I use, some low end and high end options for the Magic Find build, so that you can push yourself into red maps once you do get your Headhunter. The first thing I wanted to show you guys is Path of Building. It's called POB Community Fork. Uh, if you don't have it, go to Google, type POB Community Fork, and you should be able to get the most up to date version. I believe it's 2.13 at the moment. And you're gonna go up to the top left at Import Export Builds, and you're gonna, if you wanted to see me, you'd put in Twitch Depano TV. You'd hit Start. You'd change it to Scourge League, and I'm on Wand MF. So I'm going to import the passive tree and the items and skills. And now you're going to start to see my build on this emulator. And you need to go to your items and open up all your, or turn on all your flasks to simulate your flask being on. You need to go to your config. If you have Gale Force, you put 10. That comes from Tailwind. Um, Heavy crit recently, sure. Trinity resonance, 50%. Are you fighting a boss? Standard boss, sure. Are they ignited? Chilled, shocked. Yes, because I do all that damage. Projectile distance travel, because I go far shot. We're going to put 80 here. And we're going to change to lightning arrow because we're not doing toxic rain. And we're on our clear skill, we're almost, with just these settings, we're almost at 1 million damage. I may be missing a setting if we're not fighting a boss and we're just clearing mobs just to get our head on our buffs. We're over 1 million damage. So our damage isn't super high, but it's just enough. And like I said, we do have a single target skill. I don't really know how to show the true damage of explosive arrow on POB, but my explosive arrow, if you look at it, shoots 11 arrows sequential. At the bottom it says it shoots 11 arrows. So if you go skills, explosive arrows, and you change this to 11 because you have 11 arrows in them, and you include in the full DPS, POB just starts saying ridiculous numbers, dude. If you put one fuse, I don't know what the difference between one fuse and 20 fuse is. Someone knows how to tell me what my explosion arrow damage is. Maybe it's 13 million. Maybe it's 79 million. I have no idea. But yeah, if it's 79 million, that'd be insane. So I would just guess it's 13 million. So we're just going to assume it's 13 million. And that's kind of one of the tricky things about Path of Building is, in my opinion, depending on your build, the damage number it says versus how it feels in the game. If it says it does low damage, like my lightning arrow, for example, it says I only hit for 672,000 damage, right? I still can do red maps quite okay with it. So I'm not too concerned with what POB is telling me here. But if you are really into POB, you can click stuff like this, show node power, and it's gonna go based off of the skill that you're looking at. And it's gonna start to try to color code the nodes on the tree. So blue is on the tree because it gives you damage and life. Red is on the tree because it gives you full damage. So as you can see, I'm not missing too many power nodes on my tree in my pathing. It doesn't look like show no power is working perfectly at the moment. It's saying offensive defense. If we want to just look at full DPS, we change this to full DPS, and the show no power should recalculate You can also do show power report, but it sometimes can cause problems. Right now, this is not looking like it's working correctly, so I'm going to turn it off. Anyways, so this is what my path to building is, and I'm going to create the link for you guys and leave it below. But in game, I wanted to show you guys what my gear is now versus what is totally fine to wear. So in game, before I had all the gear I have on now, I was wearing a Bisco's leash, and that gives you 5 quantity and it gives you rampage. I also, instead of wearing Sedimas, I would drop 10 quant and I could put shadows and dust with a corruption. I didn't have that. I resold mine, but I put them here. And these all give you damage, or like this doesn't give you damage, but it replaces an item that's really expensive. You can buy a level 77 Blizzard Crown, like a cheap one, and essence spam it till you're happy. Just use any Blizzard Crown. Instead of using a GG Quant necklace, you can use Bisco's. And Bisco's is a very, very good amulet. Bisco's, as if you're not, high end juicing, Bisco's will most likely be a 10 quant amulet because there are so many normal monsters in this game right now. So if you're not investing in your maps to get them to become magic and rare and putting a bunch of scarabs and sextants on them, well, what you leave in the map are normal monsters, and if they're normal monsters, Bisco's is 50 quant necklace in the end of the day towards normal monsters, and 50 beats 10. Now, if you're juicing triple beyond and you're juicing the map with a bunch of juice, then this necklace becomes less relevant. Again, this is a very, very good starter's necklace, and I highly recommend it. And you can get it with a corruption, you can get it with a scourge mod, whatever, and you want to anoint it with forces of nature, most likely. On my tree, what we do, and I'm going to simulate it on POB, is on a budget version of this build is I would take this blast freeze jewel out, and I would take morbid and put it in here, and morbid in here, and that saves me 8 points, and it saves me those clusters. And here where I have my intuitive leap, I would put it inspired learning. And with the 8 extra points, I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Probably something like this. I don't know where I get these last 3 points, but this will allow me to get the inspired learning wheel, and it would allow me to use it instead of a headhunter. And it would allow me to use cheap budget belts, any belt I would like, basically, besides a headhunter. I'm sure you guys have seen this technology, but I don't think you can skip this. Lionized Fall. It allows you to get a bunch of attack speed on your build and crit multi and crit chance. It converts all this into crit multi, crit chance for bows. It gives you culling strike. It gives you life gain on hit, which makes me feel very, very, very defensively good. Gives you a bunch of attack speed and wed right here. To make my life gain on hit feel better, I took the spell suppression wheel, and all my max spell suppression gives me increased crit chance. I took the chaos resistance wheel, and I took more spell suppression down here. What this translates to in game is my defenses are kind of insane. Because I'm running Purity of Elements, I have immune to all this. I have 75 fire res, 76 cold res, 75 lightning res, and 42 chaos res. the chaos res is all acquired from right here 11, 11, 23, which adds up to 45, and then 50 for my Watcher's Eye. So I have 95 chaos res on my tree. And that really makes it so like nothing can really fully hurt me too much in terms of chaos damage. Now the only other thing that we're missing out on as a bow guy is if someone like Kosis or something
I'm
comes
not
up to
up
you
to
and
that
punches
just
you in
yet.
the face. So let me just show you guys one more thing. If I go to Blood Aqueduct, right now my defense is 9% physical mitigation. As soon as I move and there's like monsters near me, it goes up to 20. Or no, sorry, that's because the monsters near me make it go up to 17%. There's a, then I can use my focus mod for my helmet, which makes it go up to, I didn't see the number, 31%. I have 31% physical mitigation 1/3 of the time. But then I also have 8% physical mitigation that's not shown on my tooltip. And I also have 8% mitigation that's not shown on my tooltip on my Watcher's Eye. So like I have like a high physical mitigation on this character a lot of times. And if that's not working, um, I have I have a little bit of a chance to evade attacks. I'm not sure. Let me see if I can see it. I think with my current gear, I don't have any evasion, so I don't have any evade attacks. But yeah, with all that involved, it makes my character feel really tanky, and I just kind of want to explain all that to you guys. Um, Another note I want to mention about my build is I do not do full cold damage on my on my Wind Ripper build. I do Trinity, and the way that Trinity works is I always scale a high amount of lightning damage, and when you scale a lot of lightning damage, the low of the lightning damage stays low. So 697 low, 12,000 high. So all I need to do to make Trinity proc correctly is make sure that my cold damage, its low, is significantly higher than the lightning damage low, and its high is significantly under the lightning damage high. And what this allows to happen is that every time I hit an enemy, it's alternating between which one's hitting harder. Sometimes cold's hitting harder, sometimes lightning's hitting harder, and that's what triggers my Trinity, and it allows me to get 50 resonance. And what 50 resonance means, if you just look at the bottom line, it says maximum 50 resonance. Supported skills deal 3% more elemental damage per 5 low resonance, 5 lowest resonance. So if you have 50, you have 10, you have 10 uh 10 instances of lowest resonance. So 3% more elemental damage times 10 is 30% more elemental damage. And if you have 50 resonance and you get 17 pen for every 25, you get 34 pen. So you get 34 pen to fire, cold, and lightning, and you get 30% more elemental damage if you're running this setup. And with forces in nature, you get 10% more pen to every type of elemental resistance, and that's why Trinity's busted. And 30% more elemental damage is comparable to this gem. It's only 9% less more damage, but what do you get instead? You get 34 pen. So so I hope that this video at least gives you a good idea of how how to set up your build. Um and again, I'll be streaming every week, but I just wanted to give you guys a small idea of how my build works visually. Uh and again, I really appreciate you guys tuning into the YouTube. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much.